Is it going?
Yeah, it's going. So whenever you want to go ahead, buddy.
I don't edit these.
Well, I know.
That's my favorite part.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's professionally unprofessional.
Very unprofessional.
So I made top 8 at the OTS Championship with the best dragon cards in the game.
With Mr. Mans.
The boys. Hashtag free title. Free the cat. Anyway. So the reason I'm making this is because MCole40 released my list under our head judge's name because he was like, I got a bunch of lists that made top 8 and I want to show you guys. So he actually was like, there was Lab, there was another Dragon Link player. And yes, I was playing Dragon Ruler Dragon Link because this is the only way that you can play Dragon Ruler right now. But I really wanted to have fun with this event. The entire reason I actually joined this event was to knock people out because I already had my fucking invite. I know, it's really sad to say, but I already have my invite. So the entire concept was I was trying to knock people out so that everybody else on my team could get their top. I was just going to drop in the last round.
Ooh. Do we want to say that?
I mean,
I guess,
it's not collusion.
Yeah.
It's just me deciding that I don't want to stay for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, if I said every single time, I ended up going ahead and licking one of my cards
You
and
heard
putting
it.
it on top.
That is exactly what
and
he
then
was
sat
doing.
there and like did this.
He was
so
licking the rulers.
Scuffing mark.
Yeah.
Only the blaster.
Makes
Only
sense.
the blast.
Makes sense. Me when I'm blasting.
No, so I played against a lot of stuff. Round 1 was the easiest one. It was PK, Phantom Knight for some reason.
Tough.
Yeah, super hard.
One of those matchups.
Round 2, I got a draw against Voiceless Voice. Round 3, I think was the Dragon Link Mirror. That was round 4. Round 4 was Dragon Link Mirror. Round
3 didn't matter.
I can't remember. Like
Very memorable match. Very good. Very well earned match.
They were like super easy, sadly enough. A good portion of them was I just summon Chaos Angel and then summon big fucking rulers and swing for damage. Woo-hoo. That's all it fucking was.
Yippee!
This deck has no brain cell.
That's all you need.
I built this deck a day before the event and knew 5 hours of testing.
5 hours of testing against only Snake Eyes.
And I only played against Fire King once, and I bricked both games. So I got my ass clapped. Anyway, I made top 8, and I guess I wanted to show off the list. So let's go ahead and show it off. So, obviously, the boys.
Mr. Guys.
2 of each of the babies. You don't want to have 3. Because you don't want to be drawing these a lot. You don't want to be drawing a lot of
They
these.
seem like dead draws. If you already have it in rotation, they just don't seem strong enough.
If you already have the named ruler in rotation, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This was the same logic back in 2012 when this was like legal.
Yeah.
You'd run 2 and 1 because for some reason they just put the rulers to 1 and then kept the babies at 3 at one point.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, it's the same logic. You just don't want... You want to see 1 of these or 2 of these, and then the rest will just pump these out.
Yeah.
And then you banish these, get these back, and then cycle these back into the deck.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Right. Just guys being dudes.
Having sex.
Yep.
A Magnemite.
Just one. Just
3
like the rulers.
Saronir. 3 Druid Swarm. It's 60 cards. As many Bestials without playing Baldrake, because that card sucks. 3 Lubellion.
Without Baldrake.
Without the balls.
Come on, man. He's
No,
not that
I
bad.
can't come. It's without the ball.
Say that again to the camera.
Anyway, the Red Eyes engine was 3 Black Metal Dragon. I'm going to keep that hidden. 1 Red Eyes Black Metal Black Meteor Dragon.
Black Meteor, yeah.
I summoned this guy once.
Woohoo!
1 Red Eyes. The funniest part is, this always got me the fucking droll, so I never saw this, except for one game when I played the Dragon Link mirror. In my vanilla I didn't run Gamma, I ran Red Eyes. There was no legitimate reason behind
There was no
this.
thought process.
I could have played Blue Eyes for all I fucking cared.
This should have been Labradorite Dragon. Labradorite would have been the proper choice.
It was Driver. It was Driver for...
Oh,
up
because it beats
until-
over Red Eyes.
It was Driver up until...
What, just IHOP before the event, right?
No, it wasn't IHOP. It was after you'd went to bed at 2 a.m. and I had my second drink. And I was like, I don't really want to draw Driver and it be just the deadest card in my hand.
Yeah.
I'd rather it just be a ruler. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I can't have another ruler. So if I have to banish it for a ruler, I might as well make it be able to banish for a Bestial.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a Labradorite.
And
I
this makes
didn't have
sense.
the level 2 tuner.
Yeah.
I would rather run the level 2 tuner.
Doesn't this need to dump specifically, like, the Meteor needs to dump, like, a level 5 or higher, right? Like, I don't think it just dumps a vanilla. If it did, that'd be better, because you'd play this in, like, Magic-y.
As you can tell, I read my cards.
Who doesn't?
So yes, it's 5 or higher.
Woohoo!
Then I would play Dragon Hexer Dragon.
Oh, that Dragon Core Hexer, yeah.
Yeah,
That guy's funny.
the Dragon Tank.
Yeah. Me when I'm tainting.
2 Rocket Tracer, 1 Recharger, the bad card, and Absorouter. My favorite combo today was get a baby and discard Absorouter for it. Favorite combo.
That does seem really strong.
It's really, really strong.
Did the Synchron actually come up for you? I know it's not, like, standard.
No, it's not standard. It was what I thought Dragon Link was supposed to be built. As you can tell, my understanding of the game is a lot more important than my deck building.
Right, right. So, because what is it? Synchron summons, like, a level 7 dragon, right? So you could, in theory, summon back a ruler and then, like, make Savage or just, like...
Level 5 or higher Dark Dragon in your graveyard.
so you can't...
So I can summon
Oh.
a Bestial.
So you
If
can summon
I-
Absorouter.
I can summon a Bestial
Yeah.
if I actually read the card. All I knew is it was a rocket monster that I
Yeah.
could summon off of Tracer, and that's all I cared about every single time.
So going forward, is there something you would play instead of the Synchron? Would
Just
that
an-
be
just
another
an-
recharger?
Yeah, just another recharger.
Yeah.
The non-tuner is actually more important than having another tuner in the deck.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because you can always pull Rocket Tracer out of anywhere.
I guess, like, especially with the number of rockets that you're playing, you'd rather just have the extra non-tuner?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
And just having non-tuners is significantly more powerful because you make Savage a lot.
Yeah.
At least in this build. 3 Safer. Yeah. The obvious guys.
Yeah. The dragons.
And then 1 Noctovision.
How did this do? Because I know, like, this goes in and out of people's Dragon Link lists a lot.
I would run 3 of this.
What would be the thought process behind playing 3?
It's a 7, so I can make Big Eye.
Oh, you're playing Big Eye.
No.
Oh, for sure.
But I can.
So you would play Big Eye in the
Yeah.
future. You wouldn't play. Would you consider like Draco Sack or any of the other like old rank 7s for that deck? Come on, you're not
Draco
gonna.
Sack would actually be really cool.
No Lucky Straight Gaming, like.
Oh, dude. I would Lucky Straight someone. That would be the best game. Doesn't it say, like, draw 7 if you hit the number 7?
No. It's like if you hit 7, it's like clear the bowl. I don't know. I'll look it up real quick while we're finishing the pro. Like keep going because
we'll
like
figure it out.
I'll,
You look
I'll
it up,
straight
I will
gaming.
go ahead
Yeah.
and- all right, let's just do the rest of the profile. One thing that I really was angry about, I really didn't want to run at like Ash
Yeah.
because Ash does nothing.
Yeah, especially like into Fire King, it doesn't do a lot, and like sighting it doesn't feel worth it for matchups like Lab.
Yeah, the only time that it actually felt relevant was when I sided it against Branded. And I'll get to that story in a second, because that was the funniest shit. But,
Oh, it's draw 3, pitch 2.
dude, I get to Graceful Charity?
You could either Graceful Charity, you could wipe the entire board, or you could special summon any monster from hand or grave. So it's also just red MD.
Doesn't that require 3 level 7s?
Yeah.
It's a broken card. But I did run the two most impactful hand traps because Nib's just a guy, and the token literally means nothing in this deck. And Droll wins games against Fire King.
Yeah.
They end on the most negligible board that this deck breaks, and it's super easy to deal with.
Right. I guess part of your engine is also hand traps with the Bestials and stuff. So like,
Yeah,
you have some interaction, even if it's not the most impactful.
I really did want to run Ash, and I wanted to run Moonlit, and I wanted to run
Imperm?
Bell.
Bell makes sense.
Because they all fit with the rulers.
Bell especially, like having that
Yeah.
extra Earth for Redox.
I really wanted to, but
Room for that in 60 though to make the hand traps like do enough feels weird. You have to play like what, upwards of 20 to see them consistently.
so when I build 60, I never think about the non-engine. I think about when you're playing 60, you can't go ahead and worry about having a bunch of non-engine and then like 5 or 10 starters
Yeah.
like you can do in 40. Instead, you have to think like 40% of my deck has to be starters.
Yeah.
The rest can be non-engine that gets to the starters
Yeah.
because you're not going to see the starters enough.
Right.
So having a fuck ton of hand traps is really, really bad in a 60 card list.
Right. So like the dead Mourners, the dead like Ash Blossoms, Bells, they wouldn't really do anything. Whereas compared to like seeing a Burner, seeing a Pebbles, I don't know. Is that the little
It's
one?
Reactin,
Yeah.
Dragon Ruler of Pebbles. These are Portuguese. Why am I even asking?
Imagine reading Portuguese.
Lightning
And Burner.
and Burner, and
Yeah.
then there's also Stream.
Yeah, you'd rather just see those that get to more
Yeah.
pieces, that get you to stuff, that get you to things, that let you play dragons.
The only reason why I ran Droll is because it's the best hand trap.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I actually wouldn't run any hand traps in this deck. I don't think this deck needs hand traps other than the Bestials.
I feel like that's kind of just dragons after a while. Like,
Yeah.
there's formats where this is a hand trap deck, and there's formats where it's a I'm just going to keep pushing deck, and right now it's I'm just going to keep pushing deck.
For right now, yeah. Voiceless Voice dies on impact with this deck.
Dies on impact.
Yeah, they get greedy, they summon their level 1, you go Bestial, you win.
Yeah, that's fair. Tough.
There was... I would rather have chosen to pick Board Breakers because these did very little.
Yeah. I mean, in
Obviously-
60, it's hard for them to do a lot.
The worst matchup was Cash, and I played Cash twice. Mm-hmm. And the funniest part is, the Nibs actually came in, but both games it was game 2. So I
Yeah.
could have sided that shit in anyway.
So in the future, would these continue to be that, or do you think that you would want to play like what board breakers go well in Dragon? Like, would you like? There's a lot of extraneous bodies. You could do stuff like Econ for like when you regain and summon a guy. Imperms just because it can kind of do both. Like it's double duty.
I guess my personal thing would just be Board Breakers.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like
Tactics, Thrust,
Okay.
Evenly, Lightning Storm, Feather Duster, that type of stuff.
yeah,
Ones that have super high impact when you
Yeah.
activate it.
like everything that's a 2-for-1 at the minimum.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what these hand traps are, is it basically either stops a turn or it's like a 3 or 4 for 1.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
And then this man's favorite card.
It's the best card in the game.
I drew this twice. The first time he hit a Saronir. I just did my full combo because I could send Lubellion.
Yeah.
And then the second time I hit a Dragon Ruler.
Which is just nuts.
Yeah, and you just get a free... Dragon Rulers themselves are 2 dragon bodies, which is insane in this deck. It's like having access to 9 different versions of basically just Red MD.
That's true. That is just a lot of value.
And then on top of that, the Dragon Rulers let you cycle everything because of that stupid, the Regained?
Regained, yeah. So you
Yeah.
can put any like light or dark monster back
Yeah.
after banishing it.
Yeah, so there are those turns where you're just sitting there with a Regain face up, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
But with Dragon Rulers, every single turn, even during the opponent's turn,
You're
because
getting
you're going to be
something.
cycling Magnemite over
Yeah.
and over and over again, you're going to be getting Regained, and it's significantly more impactful.
Okay. That makes sense.
The problem is you have to really watch your Dragon resources
Yeah.
because you burn through them quickly.
That kind of makes sense. I know there were a lot of the the earlier builds of Dragon Link that didn't have a lot of the chaos pieces or played a lot of them, and you could just not have targets for like an extra Levianeer, or like when they were still playing BLS and some of those other pieces, really early ones.
yeah.
This is kind of akin to that, right?
Yeah.
But now your resources are like there's better and more resources.
If Title ever came back, I think we're just losing all the hand traps.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it just all the hand traps die.
that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't really need them if you have enough to just push all the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would even considering running that stupid spell, the draw spell.
Oh, super rejuve.
Yeah. I've got like 6 of those.
Yeah.
Well, I got the Lost Arts, whatever.
Yeah.
Chaos Space, 1 for 1. These are obvious.
Yeah.
3 Thrust, 3 Talents. Like I said, I'd rather run these. This got cross-outed like twice.
Which makes sense. I mean, in Dragons, like, cross-outing a hand trap doesn't really do a lot, but, like, they have to be on these big-ass board breakers, and, like, this is probably the most impactful.
Yeah.
Like, if they're doing this, they're probably going to try to take a card out of your hand. I'd rather just cross out that and trade my cross out instead of a card in my hand.
The funniest part is, when they cross-outed this, all I did was say, okay, did full combo, broke the board. They'd go activate card, and I'd be like, cool, it resolves, activate troll. And then they'd stare at me like, what the fuck did I just do? And I go, yeah, you decided to give up a tactics
Yeah.
so that I control you.
And it sucks because, like, either way, they're just losing too much.
Yeah. I mean, it's just because dragons are really good at just, like, hard digging through their deck.
Right.
So the extra draws, you almost always draw hand traps, bestials, or extenders.
You just draw pieces, and if you're doing one every turn, it's a lot.
The spell that nobody ever sees.
Never read this card in my life.
This card, which I found out, the field spell doesn't send itself from the field to graveyard to reborn.
Yeah, did you not know that?
No, I didn't.
No, this card's good.
No.
This
I
card's,
also-
like, reasonable.
You understand, the first 3 rounds, I didn't know that. I was, like, managing my resources, like, super tight so I could do that. And I found out that doesn't do that, and this doesn't lock you into darks.
No, it's from the extra
Yeah,
deck.
it's extra
it locks
deck.
you, yeah.
I didn't know that either, so I was also incredibly managing my resources and, like, building boards and breaking boards without using Tracer. So...
Skill difference.
It's
Skill difference.
That's where I was like, oh, shit. I think I know this deck way too well. I've lost against it so many times.
Fair enough.
Ravine, Regained, Beast, and then the last, like, heavy impact board breaker was Daruma Cannon.
And this was just for thrust, right?
It was functionally just thrust.
Yeah.
It came up literally only once. I played against Branded. He gimmick puppeted me.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to get that gimmick puppet back in the graveyard.
That makes sense.
So I baited out his hand trap, activated thrust, set this, and then during his battle phase, I let him kill the gimmick puppet, and when he swung with the Albion, I just flipped everything face down. Now he couldn't get the Sanctifier back
Yeah.
because he ran out of all of his resources doing his stupid combo. And I just ran away with the game.
I feel like that's probably one of the smartest ways to deal with it, which is funny because a lot of people don't like the Book of Moon cards against Branded because, like, fusion summoning, they don't need the
they
face
don't
up
care.
guys. But that was probably the only time that card's gonna win against Branded.
Pretty much. Yeah. I was also just going to do it during the battle phase when they swung.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to have the gimmick puppet on my field in case they had some way to get it back.
Yeah.
And if I just got rid of it and they were just like, all right, Sanctifier, summon that bitch back.
Yeah.
I'd rather just keep the Sanctifier face down.
That makes sense.
Extra deck? Oh, this is not organized.
Yeah, it is. What do you mean?
Typhon.
You did it's by summoning mechanic.
Is it by summoning? It is by summoning mechanic.
Yeah,
Holy
and then
crap.
and then
it's just
afterward.
backwards.
Yeah.
Savage, Baron, Dissipator, Chaos Angel.
And then it's by link rating.
Because Chaos Angel, I didn't summon this once.
Kind of makes sense. I feel like, would you continue playing this, or do you think this is a cuttable card in Dragons because of like how well you did?
I think that I just had fun today. So whether or not I think this is a good dragon card,
Right.
is not a statement I can say. I have a total of now a day and a half of experience.
Yeah.
So the most I can say is You barely make the 10s anyway. You're most likely making Chaos Angel because it's free 90% of the time.
Okay.
And Dissipator is better because you get to summon a Dark.
Yeah.
Like, banishing a Magnemite off of a Ruler and then summoning it back off of Pater is insane. And then, while I was testing today at work, I found out that the optimal board does not use Savage, ever. So I would actually cut this.
You would cut. What would you put in the place of the Savage?
Some other dumb 8 synchro.
Would you like what others are there that you would play like
Scarlight, I guess.
Scar? Yeah, just to burn, just to have the time card, or just to have the board clear.
Yeah, it's just a dark hole.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also make room for another Spheres. Yeah.
Yeah, Spheres would be pretty good. Speaking of that, Pisty, Striker, and 1 Spheres.
1 Spheres. Okay.
Spheres is Spheres. I made this once, and then every single time I summoned it, people would be run into battle phase, force the bounce, and I'd just be okay.
Well, yeah, it's an FDK. You have to have to get rid of it.
I guess.
You sound
One
so
time
sad.
it didn't happen is when I played against Fire King, and they just activated Island and then activated Effect, and I bounced it, and they go pass.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. Romulus, this was the GOAT.
Romulus is one of those cards.
IP, SP. So, out of testing, I found the optimal board is Borland and IP, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's just the optimal board right
Yeah,
now.
no, SP kind of makes sense, and like it's kind of hard for specifically Fire King to get over Borland.
Yeah.
So unless they're playing Underworld, and that's not really super standard at the moment. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's really hard for them to deal with Borland. Like, if you stick Borland, you win the game.
Yikes, dude. That's really rough.
Unicorn, I only made this when I was climbing into Access Code, so yeah, Access Code. Triple Burst, I only made this when I was doing the Pisty play, and the guy. This guy's insane.
Borland is just stupid.
Yeah,
he's one of the guys of all time.
He is definitely a guy. This is a guy that has sex.
This guy right here, this guy fucks.
This video is going to be like 45 minutes long.
We're actually
And
only at
it's-
20 minutes.
Cool, we'll have 20 minutes of banter. And then the card I pulled out of... Oh, this is the side, by the way. The card that I pulled out of a structure deck 20 minutes before we left for the tournament.
You know what's funny? Today when I was organizing stuff, I found the Ghoster, so you would have been able to borrow that. Is what it is.
2 Evenly. Lightning Storm Feather Duster. That's my favorite card. Kurikara.
How did this do? Because I know that this has like been making its way out of Fire King lists.
So, you know you know how I said halfway through the tournament, I didn't realize that Rocket Tracer ended up going ahead and locking you into darks.
I see.
This is the one time it mattered.
So you did.
I was playing against Cash. I had forced him to activate every single monster effect on his field.
Right.
He had 4 monsters on the field. It was just summon and swing for game.
That's pretty good. That's dumb because what they end with like 3 guys. Kids like the Era, Unicorn, Fenner's like the standard. So
Yeah.
what? This guy's like at least 6K.
He had that, and I just summoned a Rocket Tracer.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. That's so. What a dumb little card.
Yeah. That's the one time that it actually came up. Otherwise, I'd side in Kurikara and never see it.
Yeah,
The
that sounds right.
One of the reasons is because it lets me deal with Cash. It's the only thing that this deck can deal with Cash with, other than like Daruma.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I guess it deals with Flu too.
It can deal with Flu because they just activate all their little birds and then you just
I
slowly make them sad.
I have no problems with Flu anyway.
Yeah.
But I didn't play against it.
Must be nice.
I know. But yeah, it was just a card. It's
Yeah.
a guy.
Is he a guy? He's not a guy.
It's a gal. It's a dragon.
It's a fairy.
It's a dragon.
It's a fairy.
There's a dragon around it.
Yeah, it's a fairy type.
I don't give a fuck.
You can discard this for Herald.
Yeah, but this has a dragon on it. Therefore, it's a dragon.
Dragging these nuts across your face.
Exactly. The anti-branded card in the side as well.
Woohoo!
When you don't draw it. side it in for Branded one time. You don't draw it. You go into time.
Yeah.
And you win anyway.
Yippee.
And then my most based card I run.
We love Uber sharing.
I have been citing this.
We love ride share.
I've been citing this for the last 6 months, and it is legitimately my favorite fucking card. Every single time I've played against a deck and I flip this up, I have won that game immediately.
It's just Maxi. It's just Maxi.
It's legitimately Maxi right now. Like, it's insane. I'd cite it in going first for game 2 or 3, and if I see it, I just win that game immediately.
With dragons, this also seems dumb because every card trades for a card in this deck.
Yeah.
Because everything seems low impact, and it kind of is until you hit like a big bomb, like a Kurikara, like a Levianeer, like
a Bestial,
like a Bestial,
nib,
yeah,
roll, like
yeah,
a thrust, like a Tactics,
yeah.
Like drawing 6 cards because your opponent's playing Fire King and didn't give a shit.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh. I love Yu-Gi-Oh so very much.
They break your board, cool. You still can't kill me. I'm gonna draw 6. Yeah, I mean, this was legitimately one of the most fun experiences I had. Obviously, I feel really bad because my teammates didn't get to perform.
It's an OTS qualifier. It is what it is, you know.
It was 57 people.
Okay, yeah, it's a little more than average, you know.
It was like a small regional.
Yeah, it was
like
it was kind of crazy. The outside table was nuts.
Yeah,
The outside.
it was an outside table.
Oh man, playing in the back alley next to the Yu-Gi-Moto standout was insane.
Right in front of the Dollar General truck.
Right in front of the Dollar General truck.
They were unloading as people were sitting there like, activate Branded Fusion.
Activate Branded Fusion. Dollar General saw a Branded Fusion get ashed for the first time probably ever.
Yeah, I mean, after a little bit of testing, I did end up coming up with a couple of ideas in regards to this. Increase the Noctivision count.
Okay.
Even if you're not going to run the 7s, just being able to get the extra draw is really important, especially when you want to see the babies.
Right.
Cut Blaster, because if you play against Fire, you automatically lose if this is in the graveyard.
So do you think that like there is an argument to side the blasters? Because like you obviously want the engine pieces, and if you're not playing against Fire, it still seems worth it to have the body. But I guess in 60, the numbers change a lot. It's only 3 cards. You could just not play it.
Functionally, I really want to play the Blaster.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I'm a huge fan of Blaster. I've always been a fan of Blaster.
Yeah.
But it's just, I couldn't. Another big thing is, I needed the title.
Yeah, title seems like it would come up a lot.
Like, if title was legal, then this deck would have been significantly different.
Yeah. What's up? Yeah, that makes sense. Do you think that going forward without playing the Burner and Blaster, that's another hand trap, or that's another set of board breakers?
I think it's just more extenders. Just the Noctivision.
What, no Baldrake?
I actually am going to run one Baldrake.
2 Noctivision, 1 Baldrake just fixes that spot.
Then obviously change the Rocket Synchron for the Tracer. And that's pretty much it. I like this. This is fine. It's one of the things that I've been deciding on. Obviously, you should run the level 6 tuner. But it's really funny.
Yeah.
But, oh yeah, the Branded guy.
The Branded guy.
Yeah.
Joe Branded.
So, legitimately what happened was I went into time with this guy. We have like 2 minutes left in time, and he does his full Branded combo. It's like 15 seconds, 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
And he goes, I activate, what is it, Sanctifier?
Yeah.
Target Gimmick Puppet, target my...
Target whatever.
It's the Despia level 4.
Oh, Aluber.
Yeah. Summon the Gimmick Puppet on my field, and then he summons the Aluber. And I go, that's fine. And he goes, you pay 6, because he had the Masquerade on the field.
Right.
And I go, I gotta read that for a second. And I read it, and I go, no, I don't.
This does not activate, sir.
Yeah. He just didn't understand. And I think he just managed to cheat into time like once or twice. Because he made people think that it just activated.
Oh, Joe Branded.
And our game 1 lasted a total of 43 minutes.
Game 1?
Game 1, 43 minutes.
That's stupid.
Yeah. And on top of that, he didn't understand that if I have Chaos Angel in attack position and he swings into it with Mirror Jade, Mirror Jade clears it.
Yeah.
So he just sat there switching his fusion monsters into defense position, and I was like, that's a cool idea you got there.
I'm really happy for you, buddy. Yeah.
So that was pretty much it. Everything else, everybody seemed like a very competent player.
Yeah.
Obviously, the branded player, I have a feeling, went into time a lot
Yikes.
and exploited people for it.
It's kind of tough, but what are you going to do?
There's
Every
nothing-
locals has one.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it up to him because he's actually a local at our store. But,
Oh, oof.
Yeah. But,
Tough.
yeah. Otherwise, it was a fairly fun run. Bring back title.
Bring back
Get
title.
yourself a QCR Red Eyes.
Trying my best.
Thank you so much. Bye.